Helps if I shut the TV off in the other room. This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from the new media production studio. The lead stories are PayPal faces lawsuit for seizing funds with no explanation. Netflix, well, the price is going to increase. Mark Zuckerberg and Sundar Pichai have allegedly oversaw an illegal deal that misled publishers and advertisers. U.S. Airlines warn C-band 5G could cause catastrophic disruption. I want to welcome you to episode 1579 of the Geek News Central podcast for Monday, January 17th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider. Hey, I want to give a warm welcome to all the new listeners of the show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking the podcast out for the very, very first time. Of course, we want to make sure that you get over on the website, check everything out when you're over there, and subscribe to the show. Again, go to geeknewscentral.com. On the right-hand column of the website, you can subscribe to the podcast either through any one of the dozens or so places that you can listen to shows: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, you name it, they're all there. Android or iPhone users, don't worry. There's a solution there for you to consume this show. Definitely check it out. And, of course, check out all our partner shows as well. Partner shows are all linked at the top of the website, whether it be the new media show, the Pro Gear Guru site, the Gadget Professor, Podcast Legends, GNC Weekend Review, and, of course, we've got a link to this show tonight, GNC Live. And, of course, the podcast itself, again, can be found at geeknewscentral.com. You can always join our chat room at geeknews.chat, or you can join our Discord channel. That link will be in the show notes. You can contact me via email, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com, or send and follow me on Twitter at geeknews. You can always follow me on Facebook just by searching for my name, Todd Cochran. This show is sponsored by the longest-running continuous sponsor of podcasts. That's our good friends at GoDaddy. We want you to save lots of money by going over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. All the deals are there. These are non-expiring promo codes. You can use them at any time, whether it be a 30% off a new product purchase, $4.99.com on newer transfer domains for new customers, $1.99. Now listen to this again. This is a deal that is going to go away soon. It's going to go back up in price. This is a special limited run on this promo. $1.99 a month, $1.99 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free domain. $1.99 a month, $24. Includes a free domain. You get a year's worth of economy hosting as compared to $2.99 a month for a managed WordPress hosting site for the first year with a free domain, which, $24 or $36 is still pretty good deals. Definitely check all these out. If you're a business, you may want to check out the free trial of GoDaddy Website Builder, your choice of personal, business, and business plus plans. Those are 1 month free trials. Again, every time you use one of my promo codes at GoDaddy, it's just like writing a check to the show, especially if you're a brand new listener here and you basically sign up for a GoDaddy product or service. We hope you sign up for those hosting deals. Hint, hint, hint. They'll definitely save you money and earn this show money that we put in the bank, that we do everything to pay for electricity bill, pay rent, all the things that go along with running a business. So anytime you're thinking about an online product, we want you to consider GoDaddy, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy for all the links, all the savings. Click and save or enter the promo code at checkout. It's most easy or the easiest to lock in savings just by clicking on the link. All right. That's the thing to consider and do. Again, we want to thank GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here at Geek News Central Podcast. And thank you for your support of the sponsor as well. So let me kind of get into what was going on last week. I was full intention to do a show on Thursday. And Thursday about noon, I started having some back pain, actually a little earlier than noon. If you watch the show with the Podcast Insider, which I'm advertising on my back screen tonight at podcastinsider.com, I was complaining at the end of the live event about my back hurting, and it just got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And by about 3 o'clock, I was on the couch and had ingested copious amounts of Tylenol, which didn't do much good. And ultimately, I went home and went to bed and slept for about 12 hours. It seemed to get myself back in order. But yeah, no fun last week whatsoever. But it's been cold here, like 12. We didn't get the snow that out east did. That all missed us. So if you're digging out or buried in this nasty weather that went through on the East Coast, my thoughts are out for you. Of course, maybe it gives you a chance just to watch the show tonight. So thanks so much. Of course, I want to say hello to Rita. She says aloha from Volcano, Hawaii. Oh, are you on the Big Island, Rita? Hi, how you doing? Long time no see. Thanks for tuning in and checking out the show. Aloha ne, and I hope you're doing well. Thought I was going to get my car back last week. Didn't happen. Thought I was going to get it back today. Didn't happen. So I guess I'm going to call them tomorrow and find out what's going on. If you don't know, hit a deer on Christmas Eve. And they said last Monday that it would be ready by Wednesday, then maybe by Friday. So something's holding it up. There's probably a part or something they missed. Who knows? I'm still in the rental. I have 7 days before it starts costing me money. So I'm not nervous yet, but would like to get the car back soon. But hey, hope you're all doing well. And seems like getting to 1,600 this time has been a challenge, hasn't it? It's just going to be kind of slow going. But we're going to try to make the push here to make it happen, get to 1,600. I do want to thank all the insiders, all of you that have continued to do contributions. We've had some one-time donations come in as well. That is greatly appreciated. Your ongoing support of the show with your $2, $5, $10, $15, $20, or $25 monthly donation is greatly appreciated. GeekNewsCentral.com/insider. So I decided tonight to advertise a couple of the other shows I'm involved with. One is Podcast Insider. That's Blueberry's official show. You can go to podcastinsider.com, or New Media Show. That's the show I do with Rob Greenlee. Weekly podcasts about the podcasting industry at newmediashow.com. Of course, newmediashow.com is linked at the website here at geeknewscentral.com, so definitely check that out. But let's go ahead. Let's get into the stack of stuff that I've got for you tonight. Had a little bit of a Red Bull hit before the beginning of the show, so hopefully that'll carry me through. All right. Don't need to see that page. All right, here we go. PayPal faces lawsuit for freezing customers' accounts and funds. It couldn't even tell those customers why their funds have been frozen, the plaintiffs are saying in their complaint. These users who allegedly had their accounts frozen and funds taken by the company without explanation have filed a federal lawsuit against the online payment service. 2 users from California and one from Chicago are accusing the company of unlawfully seizing their personal property and violating racketeering laws. They're now proposing a class action lawsuit on behalf of all other users who have had their accounts frozen before and are seeking restitution as well as punitive and exemplary damages. Lena Evans, one of the plaintiffs who had been with PayPal for 22 years, said the website seized $26,984. Ronnie Shematov said PayPal seized over $42,000 of her money. And Shivadan Akabakev, I cannot pronounce his last name, SHBADANAKYLBAKOV, said PayPal seized $172,000 of his money without giving any explanation. Now, here's what I'm just going to tell you, and what I've known for many, many years about using said service. Don't leave a lot of cash in the account. Transfer that money to your bank account. Get it out of the PayPal account. You get a certain balance, get it out of there, get it moving. This is what I do. I get to a certain level, I have a threshold, and I move it. Not to say that I'm ever going to have my PayPal account seized, but we've heard too many stories about this over the years to not have it be a concern. All they have to think is you're doing something funny with your money. Now, One of the gals sold clothes, and she used to exchange money for a poker league. And also, she used it for a nonprofit. Well, the poker league maybe is why they got her in trouble. The other person sold yoga clothing at 20 to 30% lower than retail. And PayPal, though, said it was because she used multiple accounts, which she denies. This other gentleman that had 172,000 seized said that his wife owns to sell what's called a hyaluron pen, which are needleless pens that inject hyaluronic acid into the skin. I don't know what that even is. So basically, PayPal said that it violated PayPal's user agreement by accepting payments for sale of injectable fillers not approved by the FDA. It also said the money was taken from her account for its liquidated damages arising from those AUP violations pursuant to the user agreement. So there's another, folks, we've had poker players who've had their money taken. It just goes on and on and on. So plaintiffs bring this class action against Defendant PayPal to recover damages and other relief available at law in equity on behalf of themselves as well on behalf of members of the class identified. This action stems from defendant's widespread business practice of unilaterally seizing funds from its clients' financial accounts without cause and without fair or due process. PayPal places a hold on plaintiffs' funds on funds in their own PayPal accounts. PayPal has failed to inform plaintiffs and members of the class of the reasons for the actions PayPal has taken, even telling plaintiffs and members of the class that they will have to get a subpoena to learn the simple information as why PayPal was holding and denying plaintiffs access to their own money. So we've known that PayPal has done this from time to time over the years. There could be a very valid reason, but they never tell people why they do that. They just seize the accounts. I've had holds put on charges and or payments received in the past, sometimes for a week or two before it clears. I've had that happen myself. But again, take that money out of PayPal before they have a reason to seize it. Get it out into your bank account. Netflix is about to get more expensive for North American customers. Yep, time to cough up some money. The U.S. standard plans are going to go from $13.99 to $15.49. Netflix-owned help site confirmed the change, as well as a bump to the premium tier from $18 to $19.99 a month. So $1.50 to $2 up. The change essentially mirrored up north, where standard plans were hiked from $15.99 Canadian to $16.49. And standard plans only cover the use of 2 screens simultaneously. Premium allows up to 4, as well as Ultra HD quality, if you have the bandwidth to support it. So PayPal is getting more expensive. In bigger news on Business Insider, they're reporting that Mark Zuckerberg and Sundar Pichai personally oversaw an illegal deal, and I'm going to say alleged illegal deal, that misled publishers and advertisers. An unredacted suit alleges. So this comes directly from an unredacted suit that was filed. According to the complaint, first filed by a coalition of states in 2020, the deal guaranteed that Facebook would both participate and win a fixed percentage of Google's online ad auction in what the plaintiffs describe as an illegal price-fixing agreement. Business Insider's Laura O'Reilly wrote in April, Google dominates how marketers buy ads. The tech which sites use to sell ads and the exchange that connects the two. The suit alleges that Google uses dominant position and exclusionary tactics to distort competition in online ads. They control like 80 to 90% of all online advertising. It's pretty crazy there. So there's lots of information in this article about this. Does not look good really for either party, but Zuckerberg and Pichai both signed off on this personally. So lots of emails back and forth. So we'll see where this goes. U.S. Airlines warned C-band 5G could cause catastrophic disruption. The CEOs of several major airline companies, sent a letter to the federal government today. They say unless our major hubs are cleared to fly, the vast majority of the traveling and shipping public will essentially be grounded, they state in a letter which was sent to the heads of the White House Economic Council, FAA, and the FCC, as well as Transportation Secretary Peter Buttigieg. Immediate intervention is needed to avoid significant operational disruption to air passenger shippers' supply chain and delivery of needed medical supplies. The airlines have asked AT&T and Verizon to not offer 5G service within 2 miles of some of the country's busiest and most vital airports. They're asking the federal government to ensure 5G is deployed except when towers are too close to airport runways until the FAA can determine how they can safely accomplish without catastrophic disruption. We know that the agency established 5G buffer zones at 50 airports on January 7th. That was lucky. It only went on the table. It didn't go on the keyboard. Yeah, I spelled something. So this letter is the latest development in ongoing back and forth between the airlines and the wireless industry. We know that AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon has spent $80 billion at the start of 2021 to secure the repurposed C-band spectrum. So we know that in November, AT&T and Verizon agreed to delay their C-band rollouts to the January 5th. And they pushed that again. So that's coming up on the end of the 2-week delay. So we'll see what happens here. To be determined. And we know that some companies said that cell phones would cause airplanes to crash 20 years ago as well. So feeling a little dehydrated tonight. Safari 15 bug can leak your recent browsing activity and personal identifiers. Does anybody actually use Safari? I even on my mobile phone, I use Chrome. I don't use Safari. Don't care to. I don't feel it's a good browser. But a bug in Safari can leak your browsing activity and also reveal some of your personal information attached to your Google account. According from findings from Fingerprint GS, a browser fingerprinting and fraud detection service. The vulnerability stems from an issue with Apple's implementation of IndexedDB, an application programming interface that stores data on your browser. So, no response from Apple. So we'll see. You can use a different browser on Mac OS, but Apple's third-party browser engine ban on iOS means all browsers are affected. Oh. That's interesting. So we'll see if there will be an update for Safari. Waymo and J.B. Hunt expand autonomous trucking partnership. The companies will continue to work closely together as they expand self-driving semi efforts in Texas. So we know in the summer of 2021, there was a partnership between the autonomous vehicle developer Waymo and trucking company J.B. Hunt. According to a blog post published Friday by Waymo, that partnership has gotten more serious. The original partnership saw J.B. Hunt using Waymo via artificial intelligence to conduct trucking runs between Fort Worth and Houston. This new arrangement will expand the program to other areas of Texas with the goal of Waymo setting up fully autonomous operations in the coming years. They said our pilot last year with Waymo Via really helped us to get a hands-on understanding of how autonomous driving technology could be implemented within our operations, said Chief Harper, Chief Sustainability Officer for J.B. Hunt. We believe autonomous driving technology will help us create the most efficient transportation network in North America, and our collaboration with Waymo Via a pivotal step towards fulfilling that mission. We know that Waymo isn't the only autonomous vehicle developer looking to expand into trucking. Still, it seems to be the case with autonomous passenger vehicles. It appears the closest to fully realizing technology will potentially be the trucking industry. So, if you're in the trucking industry, I'm telling you, the clock is ticking. Have you ever heard of Product Hunt? The folks over at makeuseof.com have a good article. It says if you're tech savvy and like to keep updated on the latest apps and products, then Product Hunt is for you. Here's everything you need to know. Product is an online community platform founded by Ryan Hoover. The site is where makers come to launch their products and where consumers come to find the latest and greatest in tech. According to the Product Hunt, the site services the best new products every day. And, well, that's true. This feels like a paid article. doesn't say it's paid. It's very rare that you have a website that is pushing another website this big. According to the writer here, the best part of product is the community element. New products get ranked by their popularity. On each product page, there's also a comment section where members discuss whether it's asking the maker a question, showing support for seeing what other people think. The comment section is the perfect place. So who should use Product Hunt? When it comes to those who use Product Hunt, it's pretty much for anyone and everybody who loves tech. Well, you need to come to Geek News Central. So anyway, total shill article for Product Hunt by makeuseof.com. The UK government ignites debate over privacy versus safety. The UK plans a multi-million-dollar campaign against end-to-end encryption as used in iMessage, WhatsApp, and other messaging platforms. Most of us understand that end-to-end encryption in messaging keeps people safe and empowers commerce, but the UK government is launching a publicity blitz to have a layer of that protection removed. Rolling Stone reports the UK has developed an emotive ad campaign around child safety. It's always child safety, right? To build support for its argument. This campaign comes nowhere near addressing the threat to free speech, commerce, or privacy in such a move. Naturally, the reaction across most of the tech industry has been a series of shared oaths as people who know about this stuff ask, do we have to explain this again? Robin Wilton, director of the Internet Trust at the Internet Society, told Rolling Stone, without strong encryption, children are more vulnerable online than ever. Encryption protects personal safety and national security. What the government is proposing puts everyone at risk. The report also explains that the UK government doesn't seem to want to address the privacy versus security debate. Instead, it simply seeks to inflame reaction with an emotive campaign that raises public support for such a move while utterly ignoring the multitude of arguments against it. One slide in the government's deck cites a request that the campaign must not start a privacy versus safety debate. Of course, that's what it automatically does. So there's lots of reasons for end-to-end encryption. Entrepreneurs working on confidential business deals, people of different genders and sexualities could be exposed to reprisal by our authoritarian governments. Opposition politicians, community advocates, and dissident intellectuals can be identified, tracked, and monitored, stifling civic freedom of speech. Lack of encryption on platform scale threatens smart logistics and smart infrastructure by weakening protection. And financial transactions may be more easily exposed. So they don't like this encryption. That's what they don't like. They don't like encryptions available to the common man, that conversations can be private and secure and our privacy maintained. They don't like that. They want to be able to tap, listen, and read what we're saying. That's the end goal. We've heard this argument here in the United States many times. We know that the U.S. government's had problems getting into a variety of different individuals' phones, whether it be criminals and terrorists. We know that. But for the majority of us using our phones, we just don't want people snooping. Or AKA the government. Moving on here, the Pixel 6 get its first stable update since November. After pulling the December patch and delaying January's, Google gets caught up. So if you have a Pixel 6, there will be a major update for you. It's a full-blown security release and some bug fixes, of course. And Pixel 6 has been a pretty big mess since its launch. Hopefully this helps clean up your phones. NASA has some positive news. They fixed a glitch in the brain of the SLS mega rocket ahead of its maiden flight in March that will pave the way for astronauts to return to the moon later this decade. So the $20 billion space launch system has been in development since 2011. And, of course, it's been hit with multiple delays and problems over the past decade. Its first launch recently slipped from the end of the year to no earlier than March of this year due to a problem with an onboard engine controller, which acts as the brain for each of the powerful RS-25 engines that propel the rocket into orbit. I guess they got a software fix or something, and it's good to go. As a reminder, the SLS is going to be using the same solid rocket boosters that the space shuttle used, because they got a bunch of them laying around. And with estimated $1 billion per launch, that's crazy money. If you think about that, $1 billion per launch. Elon Musk isn't doing such stupid things, is he? So we'll see what happens here. Maybe in sometime in March, we'll get to watch this thing go or blow, one of the two. Google wants to make it easier for you to send yourself files. That's one thing Mac has had down hardcore for a while. It's just I get access to pictures, documents, whatever across any device, iPad, computer, phone. They're all there. So they're working on something called self-share, focused on file transfer across your own devices. And this feature allows users to quickly send data like photos or documents to a nearby person. Nearby Share came to Chrome OS devices in June and competes with similar technologies like Apple's AirDrop. On Sunday, Chrome's Story, a Chrome and OS-focused blog, spotted an ad feature flag in the Chromium development, referencing in addition to a called Nearby Share, called Self-Share. The feature enables seamless sharing between your users' own devices. So, okay. I haven't had problems sharing between devices using my iPhone. Ford has signed a 5-year agreement with Stripe to scale e-commerce. So that's a big deal for them. Stripe will facilitate transactions for vehicles, orders, and reservations, handling financing options for Ford commercial customers, and route customer payments from the automaker's website to the correct local Ford or Lincoln dealer. They're going to start rolling this out in 2022. I was talking to someone that is got good ears, good insight into the car market, and he is worried that forever changed is the U.S. auto market, largely because of these lack of inventories. People have been forced to go in and order cars, pay full ticket price. He does not expect used car sales to see a recovery in prices for up to 18 months. He says used cars now are going for twice what they were before. He said a $500 beater to get yourself around town type of car now is $3,000. A daily driver is probably now $6,000 or $7,000. So it's really run the gamut. And he says people are just not selling cars; they're holding them now. They're holding and run them until the wheels fall off. So the used car market is starting to dry up, and he believes that one of our bigger exports was used cars to third world countries is also going to slow dramatically because Americans are holding their vehicles because of this shortage of chips and everything else that's going around. So things could change in the automobile. Cars were already too expensive, to be quite frank. And it's not going to change anytime soon. Here where I live, there are no options to use Lyft or Uber. People in big cities have the ability to not have a vehicle and probably use public transportation and Lyft and Uber and still have a smaller expense every month than they would have from a car payment. But, rural America, it's not possible. You have to have wheels or you die. It's just the way it is. There is no, in this town, there is no public, well, for elderly, there's what's called the beta bus. But it's basically you're at their will. And they make the rounds. You might take you 2 or 3 hours to do something that would normally take you 30 minutes. But there's no public transportation. There's no buses here, nothing. There's 2 taxis in town. That's it. So that gives you an idea. Apple reportedly considered making a battery-powered HomePod. Apple did consider making this. The report claims that Apple did have internal discussions about it and even made a prototype. As to whether or not we would see a battery-powered HomePod in the future, they say would be surprised if one ever launches under the Apple brand. We're not sure why Apple decided to go with a wired version of the HomePod Mini instead of one that may be powered by battery. Well, simple. Charging is a pain in the butt. And just kind of the way it is. I have a little speaker Bluetooth speaker that I always have to put on the charger from time to time. Hey, I want to remind you that my team did do a lot of writing about CES during CES. And I want to make you aware of it. Just one article that went out. Raycon introduced a new power speaker and boombox. Yes, a boombox at CES. Link is be in the show notes. You can check it out. Go definitely give the site some love and read about the product offerings that we wrote about. Google honored Betty White with a tribute on her 100th birthday. If you typed her name into Google, it would say there was an Easter egg that popped up that said, "Thank you for being a friend, 1922 to 2021. So I don't know how long that's going to be on, but I believe today would have been her 100th birthday. So if I got that wrong, I apologize, but rest in peace, Betty White. Apple is rumored mixed reality headset could be priced over $2,000. Been following tech news, you might have heard Apple is planning on launching a brand new product category in the form of a headset. The company expected to first debut a mixed reality headset, which now, according to a report from Mark Gurman's Power On newsletter, could cost a pretty penny. The report claims that Apple has discussed pricing points for the upcoming headset where it might end up costing customers over $2,000 to own one. However, there might be a good reason for that because according to Gurman, Apple mixed reality headset expected to be quite a beast in the terms of performance. Apparently, it will feature the use of two processors said to be on par with the M1 that Apple debuted in the MacBook Pros, and is also feature 8K display panels along with advanced audio technology. Given that we've seen Apple introduce spatial audio in its AirPods, we wouldn't be surprised if the company was already trying to set the stage for what is to come. This report aligns with what the folks at Uber Gizmo heard a while ago, where it suggested that it would not come cheap. So that's some big money. That's some big, big money. I don't think people are going to spend that kind of money for a virtual headset. I just don't think so. You remember about the Jetson? Yeah, the Jetson. Yeah, Jetson. Jetson 1 could be flying on the forest moon of Endor. Quote unquote. You can pre-order your personal flying vehicle now for less than $100,000. So if you got more money than common sense, you can order one of these Jetson flying drones that you can sit in. They've taken 163 pre-orders for the $92,000 drone that will fly up to 63 miles per hour. It only has a flight range of 20 minutes, by the way. You're paying $92,000 for a thing that will fly you around without a pilot's license for only 20 minutes. Take that $92,000 and go get you a multi-engine pilot's license. And then you can rent a multi-engine airplane much cheaper than that. Go much higher, go much faster, go further, not be limited by 20 minutes of air flight. This is crazy. People, I tell you, 92,000, I am definitely in the wrong business because I see some of the toys people buy and I just wonder, where do they get all their money? It's amazing to me. It really, really is. iPad Air 5 expected to launch alongside the iPhone SE this spring. So again, lots of rumors going on about Apple here. So the iPad Air 5 is definitely due for a refresh because back in 2021, the only iPads that Apple updated were the iPad Pros, where they gave it the M1 chipset, and the iPad Mini, they got a much-deserved update. So the iPad Air 4 was launched in September 2020. which means it definitely due for an upgrade. My iPad, not my Pro, but my regular iPad is, the battery is just gone fast. Doesn't last long. I don't know how long I've had it. I've had it forever. Literally, I've had this iPad for years. I don't even know what version it is. I can tell it's old when it's next to other ones because the bezel and everything is completely different. But I really don't want to upgrade because it is what it is. I guess I have to check out third party on getting the battery replaced, but the screen's perfect. Well, it's got a little fuzz in it, but on one spot, but that's it. It's still a great device for reading books and doing email, and I don't play games or anything like that on it, so don't need that. Maybe I'll just go and get one of those Kindle readers or something instead. Amazon UK won't ban Visa credit cards on January 19th. After all, Amazon is still closely working with Visa on a potential solution. Of course, last November, Amazon notified customers to stop accepting Visa credit cards in the UK as of January 19th, blaming the high fees Visa charges for credit card transaction. Now the company has backtracked on that, telling customers via email that it will continue to accept Visa cards at least for the time being. Not a lot of people have MasterCards. They don't. Most people have a Visa in their pocket. Now, this is a story about someone that got what they deserved. A woman was sentenced to prison for stealing 3,000 iPods intended for students. To make matters worse, the employee also filed fraudulent tax returns to try to cover up her ill-gotten gains. A release issued by the Department of Justice details the charges against Stock, her name. Her name was Christy Stock. She was sentenced 18 months in federal prison for her role in a scheme to steal and resell more than 3,000 iPods intended for Native American students. The charges against Stock of tax fraud and transportation of goods, according to her plea agreement in the court documents. The scheme began in 2013 when she was in charge of a program for the Central Consolidated School District of New Mexico designed to provide devices to Native American students living on tribal reservations. She redirected over 3,000 iPods and were end up on eBay and other places. She admitted that she made more than $800,000 from selling stolen iPods. To make matters worse, she also filed fraudulent tax returns on the income, resulting in a tax loss of around $270,000. She had two co-conspirators that got more time. One was 66 months after failing to pay more than $700,000 in taxes. Meanwhile, Bender was sentenced to just 366 days in prison. So, for stealing something that was going to go to help with students. She was an employee that redirected stuff. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. It really, really is. And how did they get caught? Looks like something to do with eBay accounts. Absolutely insane. So, link will be up in the show notes. Okay, it's been my pleasure to bring you a show tonight. I want to thank you for all being here. geeknews@gmail.com. geeknews@gmail.com is the email address. A little short on news. We're a little thin today. A little thin on content. But appreciate everyone hanging out. Thanks for being here. Back in the saddle again. Hopefully this Thursday, no such repeat of last Thursday. But staying busy here. The cold just sucks the life out of me. I'm still not used to it. I really not. Got the heat turned way up in here because I just never can seem like I'm warm. You know, it's like I'm always like chilled a little bit. It just sucks. It really, really does. So overall, though, no complaints. Lots going on here, obviously. But thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the family. Thanks for watching or listening to the show. Make sure you follow or subscribe if you're not already via geeknesscentral.com. Subscribe and follow to my other shows as well to tag along with me. Be back here next Thursday around the same time, probably around 7 p.m. Eastern if I get lucky, get the show started. Kirk had the show ready early tonight, so I definitely appreciate him getting that knocked out. Having the research done anyway. But it's been my pleasure, and we'll be back with you on Thursday. Fingers crossed. Excuse me. So we'll see you all next time, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.